Welcome to Dorset. Today we're at St Aldhelms Chapel and we're here for sunset. Great to see you all again, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Today we're at St Aldhelms Head and we've come down to film a coastal chapel which is absolutely stunning. It's a 12th century chapel and it's got some very, very unusual heritage to it. Not a great deal known about it, but it's very unusual in the fact that all the points line up perfectly with a compass. So it's something that doesn't usually happen on a church, and churches generally as a rule aren't square like this one. So it does have some sort of, interesting significance. And if you believe in all the legends, it was originally built by a father whose daughter was lost at sea as she was about to marry her groom. And originally it was built with a beacon on top of it, and they've changed it since and replaced it with a cross. But apparently that's the legend of it. It's absolutely blowing a gale down here at St Aldhelms Head today. The wind is bitterly fierce, but the clouds moving and we've got some good cloud structure. Now the sun is actually setting onto our right here and the chapel is actually on our left. So what I've done is I've tried to get some nice golden light on this chapel to shoot before the sunset happens, and I'm hoping as the sun sets and the sky lights up a bit, it's going to give the chapel a little bit of colour, and hopefully the cloud behind is going to light up as well, and it's going to give us some really, really interesting sort of features on here, and hopefully a nice shot to boot. The compositions are very, very limited today because the sun being behind us, we're going to have our shadow in the shot, and you can't move further back and shoot it with a longer lens because it's actually a private bit of ground. But this particular stretch here, you can walk down here and get onto it. So we're going to be shooting on a fairly wide angle, but we are limited. And the only interest really is looking directly at the front of the chapel. If you go behind it, it's just literally two walls that meet, and there's not a real lot of interest here. On this side, you've got the nice cross on the top of the building. You've got a beautiful doorway which is catching the light at the moment. It looks fantastic. So I've rushed around, I've done a few pictures already to try and make sure I get something, and I'm fairly happy with how they came out. It's not going to be, like the big sort of sunset pictures, the early ones. It's very much blue sky, but some nice sort of mackerel cloud in there as well. So should make it reasonably interesting. One of the great things about this chapel is you can actually go in and have a walk around in there, and it's not really as photogenic as outside because it's very, very dark. There's only the one window inside and the doorway, but it really is quite an interesting place. But it has been locked up a lot recently due to COVID. They don't want people going in, and again, totally understandable. But at the moment, you can have a wander in. We'll see how long that lasts with the new restrictions coming up, so who knows. There's some absolutely stunning light that's bouncing around at the moment, and I'm really hopeful that we're going to nail a nice shot. I just hope that it lights up at sunset. There's some good cloud right over at Chapman's Pool as well, so bit of a shame not to be there, but I really wanted to shoot this chapel. It's a really, really beautiful place, and it's somewhere that I've wanted to get a better picture of for quite a long time, so thought I'd give it a go. Churches along the coast are actually quite a rare thing, and they don't tend to be built there. This one takes a little bit of walking to get to. It's about 1.5 mile walk, and although there is a road all the way down to it, it is a private road, and as much as I like to flex the rules, I definitely won't drive down it because there's residents, as you can see, in the houses just behind me here, and it would be really unfair to them. So I'm not going to break the rules. So it is quite a trek to get down here, but I do think it is a really beautiful subject, and it is well worth shooting. So it's worth the walk. It'll take you about somewhere between about 20 and 30 minutes to get here. As I say, it's about about 1.5 miles, give or take. And the path's very, very straightforward, very simple. It's all sort of, you know, stone and rock on there. It's not too muddy, so it's a fairly easy walk, but it's a beautiful stretch on this coastline, and you've got so much more than just the chapel here. Just to my right, you've got Chapman's Pool, you've got St Aldhelms Head itself, and you've just got the stretch all the way down the Jurassic coast. So there really is a few good things to shoot here as well. And if you see my Chapman's Pool video, you'll know the view from there is pretty awesome. So I might link that up underneath if you want to see that one. I'm shooting at quite a wide open aperture compared to my normal shots. I'm shooting at f8 today, and the reason I'm doing that is the sole subject, the only thing we're interested in is this chapel. The foreground, which is just grass rolling in, I don't need that to be sharp. You know, the sky and what's behind it is not particularly interesting, so again, I don't need that to be in super focus. So I've gone for f8 to really emphasize the chapel, which is a very, very sharp aperture on this particular lens. And as I say, I want the you know, the rear of the scene just to fall off in focus slightly, and the front of the scene as well. So you know, it should make it really pin sharp on the chapel. I'm going to be shooting with the 15-35 lens today, and going to be shooting at a variety of different sort of focal lengths really. Mainly to try and keep my shadow out of the shot, but as the sun's sort of going down, we'll see what we can do. We might be able to move a little bit further around and try and get a better view, but the ideal thing is, as that sun sets, I just want that nice golden light on there with hopefully a little bit of pinking going on in the clouds behind. That would be the real perfect scenario for the shot. Worth mentioning, in my composition today, I'm shooting quite a big portion of sky, probably over 2/3. And the reason being is the sky's got a really good deal of interest in it today. And the foreground, it's just grass. It's really not that interesting. And I don't want to have the chapel just smack bang in the middle of the frame. I want it either offset on the left or the right, but an awful lot of sky in there because it is quite interesting. I'm also not using my polarizer too heavily because the sky will just go very dark in places on the wide angle, and I really don't want that. So just got a little tweak of polarization just to really help bring out some of that color if it forms. Sun's only a few minutes away from setting now, and the golden light that we had on the chapel earlier on started to fade a little bit, so I'm glad I took advantage and got those shots earlier on, but I'm really hopeful we're going to get something nice for sunset. The clouds are out there, the sun doesn't look like it's going to be blocked too much. We've got a nice little bit of cloud behind, so I'm really hopeful we'll just get some nice pastel tones on here, and it really does suit this particular subject to have pastel tones on it rather than full-on blaring sunsets and sunrises. The colour palette just doesn't mix quite so well, but I think when you get a nice blue sky and you've got that golden yellow light, blue and yellow, classic contrasting colours, they look fantastic, and it really does work quite well. So I'm hopeful we've got a reasonable shot out of it. If this sky manages to catch behind me, it's all going to go off. It really does look stunning, and I'm really hopeful that we're going to get it. The wind is moving it very fast though, so I'm hopeful it will stick around, but just have to wait and see. It's so windy here at the moment. The clouds are just moving so fast as they stream across, but there is a good set of cloud behind me, and I'm hopeful that that might just come in. As I say, only a few minutes to go till sunset now, and I'm really confident that we'll get a decent shot out of it. That colour's really starting to catch in the sky now. It's got some beautiful red tones appearing in there. I just hope it gets a little bit stronger, but we should be able to bring out a fair bit in post. But it's right by the chapel. It's exactly what we were after. Really good call today. Really pleased with that. haven't got time to do too much to camera, fly the drone and everything like that. I just want to concentrate on getting the shots. So there might be a little bit of voiceover in there, or it might just be a very, very short video. But sometimes you just got to rush around and do what you need to do in order to get the pictures. So that's what's happening today. I'll stick the pictures that I got up, and I hope you enjoy them. Please do leave a comment, let me know what you thought of them, and indeed St Aldhelms Chapel. And yeah, I'll stick a couple of pictures up now for you. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed St Aldhelms Chapel today with me, and I hope you enjoyed the pictures. It's been a brutally cold and windy day, but it was well worth coming out. The sky didn't catch quite as much as I wanted it to, but it wasn't too bad. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do hit that like button. It really does help the video to get out there, and of course, I'd be super grateful. And please do leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys thought of St Aldhelms Chapel today. And if you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.